How's it going, Rogues Gallery? Today we're going to be talking more about the Gundam card game, a game that was recently announced by Bandai that's going to be coming out next year. We did a whole video talking about it about a week or so ago, posing the question, should I play and cover the Gundam card game? And I've arrived at a conclusion, at an answer, and well, I had a little bit of help in it. A lot of folks commented, and I agreed that they were like, hey, maybe you should check it out, see if you like it, before, deciding whether to go all in. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I am interested in it. I do like the Gundam IP, but I had a little bit more of a push, an official push. So we also have an announcement to make regarding some of my personal involvement with the Gundam card game. It's not anything too crazy, but it is pretty exciting. So let's go ahead and jump to our overlay, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about some cards, because we have some cards, and I just kind of want to talk about some Gundam cards, because I like Gundam. So let's do it. Here is our lovely overlay. I may need to get some art that's more like sci-fi Gundam themed for these kind of videos if I want to do this more going forward. Getting like a Katsumi drawn as a Gundam character, as a Gundam pilot would be awesome. But anyway, hey, look, check this out. I have this thing that's just here. There is going to be a Gundam card game world premiere event, and as you can see, I have been invited to it. It says, attention, you're hereby summoned to report to the Johnson Space Center, Houston, Texas for a high priority mission briefing, mission directive, intel on the launch of the Gundam card game from Bandai. And I replied, mission accepted. So, yes, I have decided that I will be attending this event after getting invited to it by Bandai, and I'm actually really excited for it. I actually reached out to them and I was like, hey, what can I say about this? Because I take NDA stuff like very seriously, and they said I can basically share almost everything, all the information that they gave about it, which isn't a ton. But I do know that this is going to be an event that other folks in the TCG industry have been invited to, like friends of mine, like Cosmic, as well as Eric Doa, the shoutcaster, who are both involved in like Bandai TCGs and like shoutcasting and that kind of stuff, as well as some other industry friends as well. So this is an event that a lot of people that I know of are going to be attending, as well as myself. And it was a pretty easy yes for me, because I was like, should I cover it? Should I not? I addressed concerns of product availability in the previous video. Hopefully we can maybe ask some questions about that at this world premiere event. I will say I think this is an invite-only event. It is going to be like a curated thing. Yeah, there's going to be like a little goodie bag and some other stuff. I don't really know much else about it, but you can rest assured that I will be vlogging the event and I will be reporting back on it, right? So if you want all the information about what happened, what they talked about, all that kind of good stuff, if they take questions, I would like to ask some questions. Yeah, I'm gonna be reporting back on this after the event. So yes, I'm actually very much looking forward to it. And I hope you are too. It's a really exciting thing. And I didn't talk about it too much in the last video, but one of the reasons I'm really excited about this and like over other IP-based card games is because I actually really like Gundam. I grew up playing, or I did play some Gundam games, but I played a MS War and some other Gundam card games over the years. But I grew up watching Gundam Wing and like G Gundam, like Mobile Fighter G Gundam. And I have since watched a couple other ones. I'm a little bit familiar on like Unicorn and Seed, but it's one of the anime franchises that I really grew up on. Like, it's as dear to me as like Dragon Ball is, and because I watched them both at the same time. Shout out to all you Toonami kids out there, Adult Swim kids. So this is something I'm excited for. If you're curious, my favorite mobile suit is the Death Scythe Hell, and I also really like the Epion, of course, are the ones from Gundam Wing, and I really like the versions like the Death Scythe Hell from Endless Waltz. But anyway, hey yo, if we can get like a Death Scythe and a Duo Maxwell like cards, oh, be good. And that's gonna segue this into talking about some cards. And so that's the video today. Here's the announcement. I'm going to be attending the Gundam card game world premiere event. And I'm really excited for it. And once again, I'll have all the details when it happens, when it goes down, I'll be reporting back on it, everything, and showing off all the cool stuff. Hopefully there's some cool stuff. I imagine there is going to be. So without further ado, let's talk about some cards. So recently there was a gameplay video that was shown by the official Gundam YouTube channel. In fact, if you give me 1 second, I can go bring it up. So here we are at the official Gundam Card Game YouTube channel. If you're interested in the game, hey, definitely go check this YouTube channel out. It's just at Gundam GCG, or Gundam_GCG. It has both Japanese, as you can see, as well as English videos, and they kind of simultaneously released this gameplay video that was both in Japanese on one side and English on the other side. This was about 11 hours ago, as you can see here, and I watched it as also as you can see here. And I think they did a good job of kind of like showcasing the actual gameplay of the Gundam card game, going over like, you know, how you start the game. Your starting hand size is 5. The mulligan rules, it's a full mulligan, but you shuffle after you draw. So it's you bot deck your hand and then draw and then shuffle. So you don't draw into the cards you just mulliganed. Yeah, it's great. I would recommend checking it out. And it actually encompasses a lot of the stuff that I was thinking about and talking about in the previous video. So if you want to hear like all my thoughts about the game systems and all that kind of stuff, check out the previous video, because I'm not going to go into them again here. But essentially, I feel like the game system is simple, but lends itself to possible depth, right? And I think that's actually really, really, really good and important for a trading card game, to have the core mechanics simple, so everyone can understand them, pick it up easily, make that barrier to entry as low as possible without being like boring or anything like that, but still being interesting. I think that's what they are. I think the mechanics are pretty simple, especially if you're a card game veteran, but I think they allow themselves to be really complex and deep if like they choose to do so with the cards, which is why looking at the cards is really important. But I do really like the direction that they're going, and the game looks a lot of fun. And I honestly I want to play some. I want to play some Gundam card game. So yes, go watch this video. Like I said, it's a great video. You can see some actual gameplay. And I bring this up because some of the cards we're going to talk about are from that video. So this is a website called Eggman Events, deckbuilder.eggmanevents.com, and they have a lovely. They basically provided all the card images so far, which is great. This is the only, or one of the only websites I know that are doing this right now. If you know of any other ones that are compiling this kind of stuff, let us know in the comments section down below. So let's go over some cards, right? I'm going to assume you know how the game basically functions. If you watch go watch that gameplay video and then come back when we talk about the cards. So here we have something like, hold on. All right, so the screen regions just don't work well with my current setup, because in order to fix it, I would have to like extend it out this way. In order to do that, I have to change my whole overlay. And so what we're instead going to do is we're just going to open this up in a new tab, and I do believe we can resize this a little bit to fit. There we go. A little bit of behind the scenes, how the sausage is made. Anyway, let's talk about this card. All right. So here we have the gun cannon. You can see my mouse here, and at the top, this is where the rarity is. So if you're curious about rarities, I'm pretty sure we at least have some rarities confirmed. This is a rare. It says a little R right there. This card costs up here on the top level. This is the number of resources you have to have before you can play it, but it's just kind of like a threshold. You don't have to use the resources. That's what the cost is. So you just need at least 3 resources to be able to play this, and then you have to spend 2 to play it. It's a unit. This is the gun cannon. And it has a cool keyword, repair. And it says at the start of your turn, this unit recovers the specified amount of HP. So damage is persistent in the Gundam card game, very much like Shadowverse Evolved. So you will need dice to keep track of the persistent damage, but cards like this heal, which makes it pretty resilient, I think, especially as a 2-drop. It also says when paired with a pilot, choose one enemy unit with 2 or less HP and rest it. Resting is basically tapping, so then you can make it so that they can't block or anything like that. We'll talk about cards with the block keyword, but they need to be able to rest in order to do that. We have its power and its toughness down here, essentially just like a lot of other TCGs. One's for attack, one's for its health. Here's its types: Space, Earth. It's Earth Federation, and it is the white base team, some OG Gundam stuff. White base team trait. This thing at the bottom right here where it says white base team trait, that is the pilot link pairing. I don't remember the exact terminology, but this is what you want to look at when you're trying to determine which units can like pilot it and get the benefit out of that. All right, so yeah, there's this card. It's a rare, seems pretty good, heals itself. Let's go back. We'll show off a pretty simple card. This one is just a Gundam RX-78-2. This is a common card, as you can see here. It's a pretty standard unit, I would think here. So it's just a 4 level requirement, 2 cost, 3/4. So pretty good stat line, but you have to have at least 4. And it is a Earth Federation white base team, as you'd expect, because the pilot of this one is Amuro Ray, who is the original Gundam protagonist. Pretty cool. This is one of the series I haven't watched too much of, and I plan to fix that. I heard I got a remake that's pretty good, that kind of concises, but I heard that there's differing opinions on it. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that. I'll watch whatever one I end up watching. We'll see. I do like watching original stuff though, just in general. So yeah, this is kind of like a pretty decently statted card. I doubt this will be